Hey, I'm Brandon with RevZilla, joined here by my buddy Pat, and we're checking out some dirt gear within Fox's lineup, and of course all of this gear is available at RevZilla.com. So today we're taking a closer look at the Fox 180. We've got the Fox 360 as well as their Flex Air jersey and pants. And hopefully by the end of this video, it'll help you better determine, what gear is going to work best for you and your riding application. I'm sure most of us are familiar with Fox. They've been around for quite some time in the dirt racing world, and we see them a lot in the mountain bike world nowadays as well. But let's kick things off. I've got Pat here in the Fox 180 gear. Now, to give you some frame of reference, he's about 220 pounds, 6 feet tall. He's got a 44-inch chest and about a 34-inch waist. He is currently wearing an XL in the jersey, and he's got a 34 in the pants, and these are both fitting him very well, and he uses that size across the line, whether it's the 360 or the Flex Air or the 180 that we've got him in now. These all fit him very, very well, but they certainly have different fits, which we'll get into a bit more in just a moment. But let's start off with the Fox 180 gear. This is their essential performance. That's what Fox refers to this as. And again, this is going to be the entry-level jersey and pants within their lineup, and it is very durable though, so keep that in mind. It has more of a relaxed fit. As you can see, we've got plenty of room in the arms. I mean, Pat's got a chest protector on underneath, and he's still got a little bit of room to spare in here, so it is very comfortable. It is going to be a bit more on the relaxed side of the spectrum. Now, the jersey has a polyester main construction. It's going to flow a good amount of air for you, but still offer a good amount of durability. When I think of the Fox 180 gear, I think of those guys getting out there on the trails. Maybe you're riding an ATV, the entry-level trail rider. This is where the Fox 180 gear is going to land. Now, on the inside of the arm, you're going to get some loose weave mesh, but they're keeping the reinforcement on the outer edge of the arm, just so if you're riding in trails and you snag a branch, it's not going to immediately tear that apart, because I have experienced that myself on a variety of different gear. Now, the pants have a 600 denier reinforcement in the strategically placed areas and on the outside of the hip, and then they have a polyester stretch main construction, so they're going to move very, very well with the body. You've got a ratcheting system, a zipper main entry, and you've got a bead of silicone that goes around the top of the waistline. That keeps your jersey tucked in place. You'll see that throughout the line as well. And then some leather panels on the insides of the legs. That is a high wear area for any dirt rider out there. You're hugging the bike, you're riding aggressively, you want to have those leather panels in that area. So it's nice. Even at this entry-level price point, Fox is still thinking about where those areas are going to be that you're going to need that additional reinforcement. Now, Pat, go ahead and face the back for me real quick, just so we can get a full look at this. Very straightforward on the back, not a whole lot going on here, but you do get some additional reinforcement at the seat. This is a high wear area. You tend to build a lot of sweat in this area. You're moving across the bike from one end to the other end of the seat on a routine basis, so they do have that nice reinforcement there. Little Fox logo above the seat, and then otherwise at the back, you're going to get more of that mesh, and it's a stretch material, so it's going to move very well with the body. Again, as you're throwing a leg around, this is going to be very, very comfortable for you. Now, Pat, go ahead and face the front for me. So again, think you're entry-level rider, trail rider, somebody who's going to be using this on a routine basis out in the woods. Of course, you can utilize this on the MX track if you wish to do so. It's a bit more economically priced, but we'll get into the Flex Air, which is really designed for that MX rider. But first, let's talk about the 360 gear. So I've got Pat here in the 360 Fox gear. This is going to be the next step up from the 180 gear that we previously looked at. Very similar construction. It's got a polyester main construction. We've got 600 denier reinforcements in the pants, but this has a bit more stretch to it, and it has a bit more of a tapered fit overall. This is really kind of like their rugged durability meets agile movement, as Fox likes to say. So this is what I typically utilize. I do a lot of hair scrambles, I do enduro races, things like that. I'm out on the trails quite a bit, and this works really, really well for me because it has a good amount of reinforcement, but it has a bit more stretch and a bit more movement, which I like to see over the 180. Now, when I go to the full Flex Air, which is really designed for the motocross rider, that stuff is a little bit more lightweight. While it may offer a bit more movement, it's so lightweight that, if you snag that on a branch, it's just going to split apart. So for trail riders, I think this is going to be a really great option for you if you're looking for that kind of mid-tier. You want something a little bit beyond the 180, a little bit more tapered fit, but you still want that reinforcement when you're out there on the trails. Now you can see we've got some good amount of mesh here on the insides of the arms, but they kept the reinforcement on the outer sleeves. And it's a very lightweight design, but again, a little bit more tapered. We've got Pat here in the same size as before, XL jersey, 34 pants, and you can see, again, it's a bit more tapered, especially when we start looking around the waistline and at the pants themselves. They do incorporate a little bit more stretch. But you can see some of the 600 denier polyester swinging around to the sides of the hips. That's nice to have that additional abrasion resistance incorporated. The other thing I wanted to point out on the 360 gear is that you do have some elastic on both the left and right hand side of the ratchet strap. This is nice because it's going to move very well with the body. It's going to make it more comfortable, but of course it's going to keep everything nice and snug as well. Good amount of perforation around the crotch area. I mean, this is great because we tend to build a ton of body heat, and that's one of those areas that is prone to heat. Now, Pat does have the knee braces on. I think he's got the Carbon C-Frame Pros on there, and they fit very well in these pants. Even though they are a bit more tapered, that stretch does accommodate, larger knee braces and knee guards if you want to incorporate those. Now, on the 180 gear, you might have seen some TPR around the knee area designed to kind of help scoop in some air. You're dropping that and just getting more stretch. You've still got the leather panels there for that additional abrasion resistance and just overall integrity. That's a high wear area as you're hugging the bike, so you're still getting that with the 360 gear. Now, Pat, go ahead and face the back for me, sir. Let's take a quick look here. More mesh on the back, as you can see, and it's fitting him very well. We do have that silicone that I mentioned before. That's going to be throughout the entire line at the top of the waistline. It just keeps the jersey and the pants in place. Everything tucked in very well there. And then more of the stretch on the back of the calves as we work our way down. Of course, you're getting the reinforcement at the seat. That's going to be carried throughout the line, which is nice, but you get a lot of stretch and a lot of breathability at the legs. Nothing's going to be hindering your movement, which is what you're looking for, and that's what you want out of your riding gear. Now, Pat, go ahead and face the front. Now, keep in mind, we do have a price match policy in place. That is there, of course, to make sure that you're getting the best deal around, make sure you're taking advantage of that. Let's take a closer look at the Flex Air gear. All right, so we are checking out the Flex Air gear. When I think of the 360, I think of the hair scramble guys, the enduro racers out there, and certainly some guys out there riding MX. But if you are solely MX, that's where the Flex Air gear is going to come into play. I've got Ken Roxon here. Just kidding, this is old Pat. And he is still wearing the XL jersey. We still got him in the 34 pants. But as you can see, this is definitely a bit more tapered. However, there is a ton of stretch with this gear. It's maximum stretch as well as maximum airflow. This is absolutely designed for the MX rider out there. Now, I say that because I've actually worn this gear out on the trails, and literally the first day that I did, I snagged one of those sleeves on a branch and it tore right through it, which is, not the jersey's fault. It's not designed for that application. Just something to keep in mind there, but I wanted to wear it because, man, it provides maximum airflow. This stuff is incredibly comfortable, and the airflow moves through this so well. So we've got, a polyester main construction. There's nylon in there. We've got 3% of elastane incorporated with the pants as well as the jersey. But you can see here on the arm, we've got perforation here. We've got more loose weave mesh perforation here that is going to be moving through this jersey so well. But it is very comfortable with all the stretch that it incorporates. Now, much like the 360 pants right here, as we work our way down, you do have that elastic on both the left and right hand side of the waistline. Again, that keeps everything nice and snug and in place, but it's going to move very well with your body as you're moving around. Still get that silicone working its way around the waist as well to keep everything in place. Now, as we work our way down the leg, before we saw that 600 denier wrap around, to about the middle of the thigh, I'd say, but now you're getting just full stretch in that area. Again, maximum stretch with this gear. As we work our way down to the knees, you're still getting some reinforcement on the insides of the legs, but you can see a bit more perforation as well. This is going to flow a ton of air. Can't drive that home enough. Now, Pat, go ahead and face the back for me real quick, sir. Now, starting at the top, very straightforward, more of that mesh, maximum airflow. I mean, you can see Pat's skin through the sides of this jersey, so it's going to be moving a ton of air for you. Now, one thing I wanted to point out here, this flap here, you can see there's stretch above that, and what that's going to do is allow the pants to move around, but with this, let's call it a gusset, if you will, is going to keep everything in place as well, but still give it that movement. So that's a nice integration there. You're going to see that on the 360 pants as well. Now, working our way down the seat, reinforcement, 600 denier reinforcement at the seat, and then we've got more of that stretch and mesh at the back of the calves, which is what you want to have and what you're looking for. Maximum movement, maximum airflow with this Flex Air gear. Pat, go ahead and face the front for me, sir. So when you think of the Flex Air, think of full motocross. The 360 gear, I'm thinking of the hair scramble guy, doing enduros, doing a lot of trail riding. And of course you can utilize that gear at the motocross track as well, but it's not going to give you the maximum breathability and maximum movement that the Flex Air gear is going to give you. And when I think of the 180 gear, I think of the entry-level rider. They're just getting out there on the trails, but they still want good performance and overall quality from Fox. Now, of course, if you're looking for more details, feel free to click that info button. That's going to take you over to RevZilla.com where you can read other rider reviews. And as always, if you have any questions about this gear, please don't hesitate to reach out to one of our gear geeks. Give them a call at 877-792-9455 or simply shoot over an email, cs@RevZilla.com. Thanks for hanging out with Pat and I and taking a closer look at the Fox lineup. I'm Brandon. Keep it pinned.